All right, welcome back to web development number 2. I'm going to go through a couple little updates here just to make sure you're on the same page. Some stuff is new, some stuff's been added. And as you probably have realized, web development 2 is merged into WebDev1. So you're going to need to most likely, especially with all these videos and whatnot, bring some earbuds, headphones, whatever you need to kind of block out the WebDev1 stuff that's going on and kind of focus into WebDev2. There will be, if you've taken my WebDev1 class, you know that we've done some bigger projects and whatnot. We'll still do projects. I'll still do some ones custom, personally, but you are going to see more CodeHS stuff as well. So I just want to make sure that we remember how to do CodeHS, how to get logged into it, how to sync grades over, and there's been some changes with how I'm doing CodeHS as well. So this isn't a great example, but on some of the CodeHS sections, you're going to see this kind of page. I'm calling this our overview pages. And it's going to give you links to CodeHS, some of which are going to be practice material, like videos. These are usually like examples of code. I might run through a coding example with you. There might be a video included here. If you don't see a gold star over the icon next to the link, it's not necessarily going to be going on your grade. It's just additional material or practice material to get you acquainted with what you're actually doing on the assignment. If it's a larger project, then that's probably not going to necessarily be the case. But any CodeHS type material is going to be split into just practice material that you can go through and then the actual assignment that it's going to have you do. I do encourage you to not just skip all of this practice material. The assignments obviously are going to be going off of what you need to learn in the practice material. There's also going to be graded quizzes that will ask you questions related to that practice material. So if you skip through all of the information that I have, again, this isn't a great example. There'll usually be a bunch of links and examples to code and videos and whatnot, and you go straight to an assignment or you go straight to a quiz at the end, I'm going to ask you questions about stuff in that video or about stuff on that assignment, and you're gonna probably bomb it. I'll give you 3 attempts to make up or to take those quizzes. So we have 3 different times that you can take a review quiz, and then it'll just take your highest score. So the idea is not to just, barge through this course and just, brute force these quizzes. You need to go through at a steady pace. If you take that approach anyway, you're probably really not going to buy yourself any additional time. Instead of bashing your head and being frustrated with trying to, get an assignment right on CodeHS or trying to get something right on a quiz, it'd probably take you less time to just go through the material at a steady pace and not lose your mind and learn this stuff, right? That's the idea. Practice material is there to help you understand these concepts so that you can pass these graded assignments without having huge, problems with it. And by all means, of course, I'm in the same room, right? You can ask me questions, call me over if you're not quite sure what's going on. It just needs to be a more independent class because I have to merge you in with WebDev1. There aren't enough students who take Web Development 2 to support an entire class, so you have to be put into WebDev1 or another class, or else you can't take it at all. That's kind of why you're in that situation. It is a new class, so there is a syllabus. It's nothing new from what you've had in the past. I'm actually not really going to even focus on that except for this stuff here, but we have the same type of deal that we had before, not being able to, or not using the computers in an appropriate way. You can look through the syllabus there, and there is a syllabus quiz. So that's your first quiz. It's 10 questions, all about the quiz. I do need you to get 100% on it to move on. So make sure you take that quiz. It's the first thing that's going to go on your grade for this semester. This link here is to help you get set up on CodeHS. So like I said, we're going to have some projects like we did in the past, but it's going to be more heavy on CodeHS materials. So this link is a pre-test, but it mainly is to just get you logged in and associated with CodeHS. I'm going to switch to student view here for a second. As a student, if you click on this, you're going to get a little assignment page, and then you get this button. This button is the whole thing. When you click on these buttons, it's going to sync or link your account on Canvas with your account on CodeHS. If you don't use these assignment buttons to load the assignment into CodeHS, let's say you just go to CodeHS yourself and then start doing assignments, it's not gonna pull the grade into Canvas. So this is your key here. You need to click these buttons so that your grade comes into Canvas and you get credit for it. So this, like I said, is a pretest. It's the same pretest that you took in Web Development 1. So we'll just see how you do now that you've gone through a class here. But if I click on this, it will hopefully load you in to the pretest. If you get some kind of warning page or some kind of can't find this class page, then let me know because something's going on. But hopefully you'll get to this site here, hit continue, go through the pretest, and this is not only, testing you, but it's also making sure that you can access the material and that you're in my course, because it's a brand new class. You're not technically enrolled into CodeHS until you click on that and you use the Canvas button and you get into it. Real quick before I end this video, this is a brief overview of what is to come in the next few weeks. I am going to go through a little tutorial on how to actually host your sites. We didn't really talk about web hosting a whole lot in WebDev 1. I'm going to give you 2 examples. I'm going to have you go through 2 examples here. One is a new site that I've come to really like called REPL. It's a little bit different. It's not as complicated or I guess probably legitimate as the other web hosting version, but it lets you just host code, not necessarily websites. It could be a lot of different languages. Even I found it because you can host Discord bots off of it. So I'll show you that, and you're welcome to play around with that on your own. Kind of a really neat site to just get some really easy, simple hosting. And then we have another version that is more of like a traditional web hosting service that lets you actually host your website, and that one lets you host it for free. You have to make an account, and I'm going to get into all of that in this one, but it'll give you a couple ways to see how you can host your own site for free without having to pay anything, and you'll kind of see the consequences to that and what the kind of takeaways are. So that's the first thing we'll do. Then I want to just do a little bit of a review. We're going to make a review website that just goes through the basic fundamental HTML and CSS stuff that you've done in WebDev 1. We'll have you just make a little website that kind of showcases all of that. And then we're going to move in to where we kind of left off, and what's going to be really important if you're going to take a Microsoft test, where they focus on more interaction stuff, more forms, that kind of stuff. So we're going to do some stuff with mouse actions. We're going to do some stuff, this is all on CodeHS, with animations and interactions. So basically manipulating photos and changing the looks of things. We've done this a little bit, so it'll be a little bit of a hopefully you remember this a little bit from the last time. Tooltips, these are like hover effects, being able to do something when you put your mouse over something else or when your mouse leaves. And then we're going to hit the big part of WebDev 2, which is Bootstrap. Bootstrap is a great thing to learn if you want an easy way to code your website. I use Bootstrap all the time. My entire website is a form of Bootstrap. It just makes it really easy to care or to basically handle when things shrink down, like when I shrink down to a mobile version, how does this little menu pop out? How does all my content get rearranged from being how it is to something else? It kind of handles a good amount of that kind of stuff. And there's definitely a lot of stuff to do with Bootstrap. You can look up Bootstrap on your own if you're curious, but that's kind of where we're headed. So we'll be doing Bootstrap stuff quite a bit. CodeHS has a pretty extensive section for Bootstrap, and then we'll move on from there. But that's the first kind of bit that we're going to be doing. We'll show you how to do web hosting. We'll go through some review. We'll do some mouse actions. And now that you're going to know web hosting, when we do custom projects, I'm probably going to have you host those custom projects, the stuff that we're not going to do on CodeHS, but our own stuff like on Brackets. I'm going to probably have you host it on one of these sites, the REPL hosting, the Infinity Free, whatever you like the best. So you can get the sense of uploading files and updating that kind of stuff and having file management and all that kind of stuff. So you'll be using web hosting a lot more in this class. Okay, so there you go. Hopefully a nice quick rundown. First thing you want to do is go to that welcome page, link yourself to CodeHS, take a look at the syllabus, take that syllabus quiz, and then next time we're on to the next thing here, we're going to be talking about web hosting.